talking, no noise, just vibes.
Hey guys, welcome back to Cozy Sunday Chat with Coach Nye. I'm your host, Coach Nye. So, as you know, if you've been following me, we just finished up the first series. It's a three-part series. The first series was about acknowledgement, acknowledging things about yourself. This series is about healing through release and practice. And we're going to focus on letting go and rebuilding healthy habits through self-care and compassion. So this episode, which is episode 4, is about release and rise. So if y'all haven't got y'all tea, get y'all tea. Let's get started. I give y'all a moment. Like I tell you, every episode, what I have in my tea, I have lavender, peppermint, and jasmine. I have that in my tea. So you guys, while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and refresh the ones that don't remember. Get your blanket. Don't forget your blanket. That don't remember, and for the ones that's new, to introduce you to what this is all about, and to congratulate you, because anytime you follow me or you watch any of my videos, you are automatically accepted into the Trinity of Fitness Bootcamp. The Trinity of Fitness Bootcamp was based off of, the foundation was built off of our pie. Our pie, it means basically our piece of the healing pie. It is to acknowledge release, practice self-care, inner exploration, and empowerment. That's the 5 pillars of healing that I use to build the Trinity of Fitness, which is healing your physical, spiritual, and your mental. And we do that by, I teach you how to journal, I teach you how to meditate, and I teach you how to pour into yourself to become the best version of yourself. So that's what boot camp is all about. So if you have not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to and download the podcast. It's on all streaming platforms for podcasting. It is Chat with Coach Nye and my group me. I put homework there too. Excuse me. I put homework there to download that app, Group Me. It is Chat with Coach Nye. In every platform that you're going to meet me or see me, it doesn't matter what my name is attached to, it's going to have something to do with homework and healing. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So let's jump right into it. So episode 4 is about release and rise. So what we're doing here is I'm going to teach you how to journal and breath work, basically how to release in that way. Now, letting go of guilt, resentment, and self-blame. How do you do that? What does that even really mean? It's kind of like, I'll give you a quick example. A lot of people, when they're in relationships, they call it gaslighting, and then the other person feels so guilty about the situation. Even though they may have not did anything, they go ahead and consume that whole feeling of guilt or that shame. Or when they have a breakup, they go through, and as they heal, they begin to feel guilty or shameful or embarrassed of what they went through or what they did. So letting go of the guilt and resentment and self-blame, well, how do you let go of it is by identifying it first, which was the first part series, was to acknowledge what it is. And with the archetype that I just told you about, you can do anything that you're going through, you can do a check and balance off of that. So with that, how do I let go of guilt? I have to acknowledge what it is. What was the situation? Let's use breakup as an example, because so many people, that's when they feel guilt the most, right? With a breakup, or even a mother and child, just parenting, because that's the hardest thing too. What we did was our actions. What was our actions? What did we do in that situation? How did we respond in that situation? We're not worrying about what someone did to make us respond that way, because that's the get out of jail card, but it's not healing you. The get out of jail card is, well, you did this, that's why I did that. No, it is, what did that person do, right? They did this to you, but how did you respond? Was that the proper way to respond? Is that what you want to, when people remember you, how you want them to see you? So even in a relationship, when we break up or when we go through our divorce, we sit and we have all this guilt of, I should have known better. I seen the red flags. I seen this. I shouldn't have did. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Now everybody's looking at me. Now everybody's going to stare at me and say different things and blah, 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 blah. So what? They're going to do it anyway. Whether you did the right thing or not, they're going to do it anyway. And most times you did what you were supposed to do in that moment. You were supposed to be a wife, or you led with love and care. It's just that they didn't know how to receive you. So, but now that you identify that, now you have to release that. That is nothing to hold guilt. See, I teach a lot about, we grew up only having two emotions and understanding two types of feelings, and that was angry or happy. So if I'm sad, I'm angry. If I feel guilty, I become angry. If I feel embarrassed, you don't know where to put this stuff at, and you put it with angry. You misplace emotions and feelings. You displace them and you put them places, and you categorize them in places where they're not meant to be. So I'm going to teach you how to pull it back. Now we identified that, okay, I cater to this person and I love this person and they did this to me. Okay, that's nothing to be guilty of. What we're doing is canceling out the negative self-talk. We don't want to do that anymore, because that's what the enemy wants us to do. The enemy wants us to identify any and everything to keep us in a place of depression and chaos. So you got to let go of it. And you can't, just because someone didn't do anything to you or the resentment that you have, listen, forgive. And if forgiveness is not for you to, oh, I forgive you, come back. No, it's forgiveness, then create boundaries. And you create boundaries so that'll never happen again. However, that does not stop you from loving people. Forgiveness for a lot of people mean that I forgive you, so come back, let's start all over. No, forgiveness is so you won't harvest any more sins and cause any more actions that you can be fought for, and then you have more guilt and shame. No, you let that go. And it takes a lot. It's not just as easy as that. It's sometimes you need therapy. Sometimes you need to journal. Or sometimes you can do just this: breath work and journaling for emotional release. Because now we're living in a time that we can't trust anybody. And it's sad to say that. It was a point in time when we had that bestie that we can call and talk to and say, hey, bestie, let me tell you what's going on, or your best friend, and they will hold that secret down. But it's not like that anymore. Everybody kind of fends for themselves in this season. So I don't know what that's about. But your good old Coach Nye here, your host, I'm going to teach you how to do breath work and how to journal. So we can either do the 8 count. I teach the 8 count. It's 8 in and release 8. So you're going to breathe in. You're breathing in what it is that it is. Okay, I feel shame for the way that I acted in a situation. Breathe in 8. Now I'm going to release it. Let go 8. Okay? The next thing, breathe in 7. Then I'm going to release 7. All the way until I get to 1 count. Whatever it is, I'm releasing everything that I tied myself to. And that's a way for you to come back to center, which is present time. That's the most important part, is to come back to self. Be in the present. It's not about going out trying to be better. I'm just going to be better. I'm going to release this and I'm going to be the best. No, you're going to work through this. And how do you journal? Well, that's the part I like. See, the journaling part is, some people use it as a diary. Some people use it as a download to jot down the things they need. But in this case, when you're healing in the self-love healing, what you're going to do is jot down everything that you feel is a trigger, that you feel is shame. And once you write it down, now on beside it, now what we want to do is think about, why do you feel that you have to be shameful for that? Why? Now, later on after that, you go to meditate. I love teaching meditation, because meditating is not a state of obsession and overly thinking about it. Meditation is for you to find the right way. It's for you to say, okay, I feel shameful for this. I wrote it down. Why do I feel shameful for this? Because of the way I acted. Now I'm going to sit back and just meditate on different scenarios and ways that I can handle it better. Because the whole goal is to get you back to your true authentic self, which is where peace and love dwells. And that's where you want to be. Being who you are. Because sometimes people attack us because we're so busy trying to live up to everybody else's standard. And that's why we hold on to the guilt and the shame, because our true self, who we really are at our core, at our soul, we know that's not how we behave. We are full of love. But somewhere along the line, they made us feel that way. So even with journaling, I feel like this with journaling. when I teach people how to journal, I teach them how to basically, what they're writing is their testimony. Now, why do I make sure it combines with a testimony? Now, don't get it twisted. I don't want you to think that a testimony is only when great things happen, or this, that, and the third, or, things that the most harsh things. A testimony can be, you know how to build a business. That's your story. Writing your journal and creating that testimony, because in this season that we're in right now, everyone needs to hear your story. Not everyone, but the people God is going to send your way need to hear your story, because they're going through the same thing. They're going through it too. It's so much going on, but they need that person that can help them stand in faith. So just like with the Bible, as I teach that and I explain to them, when you break down the books in the Bible, that's pretty much journals of account of their testimony, their story, how their account with God was, what they went through, the pressures that they went through, the judgment that they went through. How did they come out on the other side? Their account of Jesus, their account of God's blessing, but how did they come out on the other side? And that's what we hold on to. We run to the Bible and we look for a passage or a scripture that can help us get through whatever situation we may be going through, right? So we can stand on faith. But I need you to understand, your testimony is just as important, because it's somebody going through it just like you are, except for this time you were able to go through it because you was tough as nails. However, the other person that's going through it may not be tough as nails. And your testimony can help them. My book, Trinity Walk to Self-Love, this journal was created from my healing journey. I created it and I wrote about my testimony on teaching other people how to become better them. How to pour into themselves and become healed. Well, you're never all the way healed. You're going to heal in healing, right? Forever. But self-love, how to pour in yourself and become love within, not looking for it from anybody else. So people that purchase this book and then they, do their testimony, or they'll email me or text me, they like it. It helped, because I'm a person and I'm human just like they are. So listen, your testimony is needed in this season. So with the journaling, you'll pick a topic, whatever it is, and then you'll go just whatever you decide that you need to let go of. That's going to be your topic, right? And then you're going to do your breath work, which is your 8-second in, 8-second out. Breathe in your nose, out your mouth. Now, if you get dizzy, please stop. Please don't keep going. Please do not keep breathing in and out if you get dizzy. It's not going to be a good look for you. Okay, so make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you want to know more about meditation, if you go to my podcast, Chat with Coach Nye, I have a episode that I talk about meditation and I teach meditation. Now, with my personal story, I'm going to share that with you guys, of my surrender and strength, was when my father passed. I still have a hard time communicating that without being emotional, because I loved him dearly. For the ones that know me, they know I'm a daddy's girl, that I loved him dearly. However, it was in the darkest moment when God met me, and he met me there. That's when he met me, and he showed up for me. And when he showed up for me, there was no one else there. There was no one I could pick up the phone and call. And it was meant to be that way. I was not supposed to be able to call and lean on no one except for God. I held some guilt, a little bit of guilt, because I felt like, well, what if I moved back home? You know what I mean? What if this, I was still like, okay, then I have to talk myself, okay, if you move back home, how are you going to take care of your kids? How are you going to pay your bills? Okay, if I quit my job and just go, I thought things like that. And it was just eating me up, because I felt like, should I have done more? And the answer is no. I did everything I was supposed to do. I did everything I was supposed to do as a daughter. And that's where I had to learn to journal, and I had to write it down. Instead of holding it in, I had to write it down to get it out. I had to download it. And then when I got it out, I also wrote on the side of it, how did I recover from that? How did I, go through the grief? And how did I come back out on the other side? Did I stay there? Did I stay in the void? Did I stay in the past? Did I get to try to jump to the future? Jumping timelines, trying to get away from what just happened, or did I stay present? And I teach you that, and I stay present. And the only way that you can get through it is by staying present. Meaning that with grief, and I know I'm kind of off topic, but this is my testimony here. But what I learned is with grief, there is no right or wrong way to grieve. They tell you you have 7 stages. They tell you have 21 days. They tell you all these things. But I'll tell you from Coach Nye, my testimony. I chose to grieve healthy, meaning that I understood that that timeline has collapsed. My past. That is now my past. It has collapsed. In this present time, I never been here before. I never been in this present moment without my father being alive. So I had to let the past go and allow that timeline to collapse. I did not say, oh, forget my dad, I'm moving forward. What I'm saying is, in order for me to stay present and keep moving, I had to understand that he's no longer here. And in the present time, that's where God is, in the present. He's not in the past. He's not in the future. He's in the present. He's in the seconds. And he's with me. He was with me while I recreated my new life, my new timeline. I'm creating my future now without my father. So that's what helped me. Journaling helped me, in meditating. Okay? So listen, I've been through some stuff. I'm sure we all have, but we got this. So I'm gonna give you your journaling prompt. This is your homework. If you're new here, this is where I give you your homework. Also, I do weekly homework. You have a whole weekly assignment, right? And with that weekly assignment, I post it on all my platforms, and even on TikTok. It's Chat with Coach Nye, and I'll pin it at the top of my page. So you guys get your homework, because now you in boot camp. So your journaling prompt, I want you to write down, what do I need to forgive myself for? Now, when you do that, I want you to make a list of things that trigger shame or guilt. Okay? List them. And then I want you to meditate, letting go of emotional weight. You want to do the breathing, right? And the guilty things, breathe in, you're going to release it. That's what you're going to do. Each guilt, just release it. Let your breath just flow. You can do the 8-second countdown, or you can stay at 8 seconds. And just every one of them, just give it 8 seconds to breathe in, and you release it. And once you release it, I want you to get into present, because now that is past. What you release is now past. It no longer can attach itself to who you are now, okay? Now, one bonus thing that I do on anytime I go live, or any video that I do, or anything that I do, I like to give you the Trinity of Fitness healing prompt. This is for journaling, something for you to think about, meditate on. I created this just for you. So, let me get my glasses, because it gets real up in here. All right, here we go. Ooh. Surrender, open space for miracles. Surrender, open space for miracles. Write that down. Matter of fact, write it on your bathroom. Surrender. I surrender. I don't want no more parts of it. Then you allow God to bring in the blessings and the miracles to you. Okay? So listen, I enjoyed you guys as always. I love coming on Cozy Sunday Chat with Coach Nye to just give a word, to give a lesson. That is it. That is all what Trinity of Fitness Boot Camp is all about. It's about teaching you how to become the better version of yourself. If you haven't got your book, it's Trinity Walk to Self-Love. It's on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and Walmart website. Get your book. Also, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to all my platforms. It's Chat with Coach Nye. That's what we be doing some things, right? I'm always teaching. It doesn't matter where you meet me at. I'm always going to be teaching. Listen, I love you, and I am so proud of you. If no one told you today, I'm telling you right now, I'm so proud of you. I want you to keep up the good work, and I want you to continue to pour into yourself before you pour into others. It is so important for you to see the best in you before you try and see the best in someone else. And then once you see the best of you, then you'll realize the people that you thought had good intentions, you'll see them for who they truly are. You'll see them without their mask. Do you understand? And remember, God will pour into your cup until it overflow. But that overflow is not for you to just go out and party and just say, hey, I got some extra money, y'all come on in. That overflow is for God to, he's going to send people into your life. Pretty much you're going to be the storehouse. He's going to send people into your life so you can help them out. But be mindful. Use your discernment. Listen to God. Listen. Follow me for more. Remember, my podcast is Chat with Coach Nye. Subscribe here. All my social media is either Chat with Coach Nye or Body by Nye, because I do fitness too. And my podcast, Chat with Coach Nye, and download GroupMe. That's where you can text the tribe. I'm building a tribe there so you guys can text each other to walk each other down out of situations. And also the link to my website is in the bio. Go there, subscribe so you can stay up to date with all the highlights. Also, in my store, I have a quick reference card of RPI that you can print off. It's free. It's $0. It is for you to download, print off, and you can hang that thing in your office, in your car, wherever it is, to walk you back to reality, because that's so important. So thank you once again for joining Cozy Sunday Chat with Coach Nye. This will be every Sunday. Coach Nye out.
Thank you for following me.